Hey everyone, Meatbird here. Here to show you my week 1 update on my free-to-play account. Just going to go over some of the initial 1 to 40 plan in preparation for Galactic War, which will be the biggest content you'll have to go through. In the early game, you'll want to start off with this team right up here. So you have Jedi Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke, Ahsoka Tano, and Princess Leia. And then eventually you'll transition into replacing Farm Boy Luke and Leia with Mace Windu and one other. I just chose Jedi Counselor here for one of the challenges, as well as the synergy with Anakin's lead. And then going into your initial dark side team, you start off with Gideon, Geo Soldier, Dark Trooper, and Kylo Ren, +1. I just happened to unlock Range Trooper relatively early, so I threw him in there. But he'll be a part of our Galactic War team anyways. And then as we transition, our dark side team will consist of Iden, Stark, Magma, Ranged, and Stormtrooper. And this will also be our Galactic War and Squad Arena team, which I'll show in a minute here. And something else to keep an eye out for is Credit Heist. Credits are a big bottleneck for the early game, and to alleviate that, we will limit what we level and ensure that we have the proper amount of scoundrels for the event when it does roll around. So ours will consist of Lando, Stormtrooper Han, Grief, and IG. Now moving on to our farming strategy. For the first 14 weeks, we're going to just focus on Anakin, Grief, Iden, Ranged, and Veers. And as you level, you'll get a lot of excess energy, and you can put that into individuals such as the Mandalorian, Daka, Mace, Ahsoka, or Boba Fett. If you continue to have excess energy, put it into more shards of someone versus farming gear. The gear is really easy to get, but shards take a while. As for Cantina, we will move on to Geo Soldier right away as the very first node. We'll take him straight to 7 stars. Then we'll go to Kylo Ren Unmasked for the TIE Silencer and get the TIE Silencer to 5 stars for the Zeta Challenge. As soon as we're done with Kylo Ren, we'll go to Geo Spy until 7. By the time you hit 60, if you happen to be done with Geo Spy by then, you can fill in the gap with Old Ben and Farm Boy Luke if you'd like. Onto our currency usage. As you play the game, you'll acquire currency through the different game modes. So for our Cantina, we're just going to focus on getting our Stormtrooper up to 7 stars, and then working on Boba Fett after. Moving on to guild activity, we just want to focus on Colonel Stark. We want to get him unlocked as soon as possible so he can be put on the Iden Versio squad. If you happen to be in a guild that's doing raids, use all of your Mark 1 on character shards early on. Again, we want Colonel Stark up and running as soon as possible. And if you happen to have extra before 7 stars, work on Sunfac next for our fleets, which we'll get into when we hit 60. And then if you're done with Sunfac by then, just work on Han Solo and Dengar. Moving on to Squad Arena, you just want to get Mace Windu unlocked. Any excess energy you might have, as you saw earlier, you can just put into Mace if you like. But as soon as you have him unlocked for the light side team to progress, we just want to work on Moff Tarkin to 7 stars, since he'll be the capital ship that we're using, the Executrix, when we get to level 60. And then to Galactic War, we will want to work on Magma Trooper all the way up to 7 stars. But if you happen to get to 60 when ships unlock, and the Galactic War store can have ship shards available, we will stop on magma, and then we will focus on the Geo's ships. Um, and then if there's none in the store at the time, just save it. The Geo ships are the most important thing on here. Um, Later on, we'll work on the TIE Fighter pilots, the Imperial TIE Fighter, all the way up to 5 stars, since we need so many dark side ships for a Zeta challenge later on. But we're here to just focus on the early game. Now for Galactic War, I'm just going to show you a quick example of how easy it is with Iden Versio lead Imperial troopers. As soon as you get her, um, even if you have to fill in with Dark Trooper initially, that's fine. But you want all non-droid troopers as soon as possible. And the moment you get that, you'll never lose a Galactic War. So I'll just show you real quick. I happen to get Snow Trooper through the packs that you get through the store. Um, but if you don't have Snow Trooper, that's perfectly fine. You can put Gideon in if you like. Dark Trooper's amazing. But as soon as I get Stark unlocked, Snow Trooper is leaving. And that will play into Iden's both unique and leadership ability. Her leadership ability is just amazing. Early on, later on, she's just going to be a huge part of our plan. She's great early game. She's great leveling. She's great mid game. People still use her in GAC. She's a game mode for PvP where you'll earn more crystals later on. But yeah, early on to have 30% extra crit chance, 30% offense, and 30 speed at just level. Well, sorry, I guess 25% chance, 25 offense, and 25 speed at level 4 of this ability. It's just no other leader can compare to that this early on. And her node is needed for the Vulture Droid, which is a pilotless ship for the Geonosians fleet, which will be huge for us as we're going to try to get Malevolence as one of our first major fleets while we work towards Executor. Another key part of her leadership is if no one has the leader tag in her team, all non-droid get Imperial troopers get crit damage up for 2 turns. They have a 100% counter chance, and while enemies are vulnerable, which happens from Iden's special ability, those individuals that have vulnerable debuff will have minus 25% speed. This is just a fully stacked leadership ability. And then for her unique, if no other allies have the leader tag and everyone on her team is not a droid, but they're Imperial troopers, Iden basically gets to go first. I know early on it's like 70% turn meter, but no one else in the early game will be able to compare to the amount of turn meter she gets as a bonus in the beginning. It's just amazing, especially for Squad Arena. It's incomparable. You can start off, as soon as you start off, you can use her special, which is it deals damage to everyone, inflicts vulnerability to everyone, it dispels buffs on people, it inflicts a healing immunity, which is extremely strong, especially early on when people really don't have, there's not a lot of characters available with cleanses. You can stun, and then also for Squad Arena and Galactic War, if no one has a leader tag and you call every non-droid Imperial Trooper to assist, dealing 20% less damage. Just the key thing, the non-droid Imperial Trooper that basically calls out Dark Trooper. You can't have them on your team for this to add up, for these types of things to activate. This one in particular, just you can't have anyone with a leader, so if you happen to not have Snow early on, and you do put in Gideon, he is a leader, so this part of this ability will not work. Okay, so we're inside the Galactic War battle. As you can tell, the troopers are just so fast because of Iden's unique and lead, and Her ability to go first is just amazing. And as you can tell, like we already have the buff of crit damage up. We have 30% increased crit chance anyway, so if it's for crit, we're doing 50% more damage than what we would normally do. So it's just a walk in the park from here. You know, just start off with your AOE, you know, stun. Look, it's just it's insane what she can do. As soon as you get her, you'll never lose a Galactic War. It's just as easy as that. Okay, now for Squad Arena, where you'll be facing other individuals' teams that they have, just to show you the power of Iden. You know, a very, very good early game team is the Phoenix, which I know a lot of people are suggesting to farm. I do not suggest it just because in the longer run of your account building, yes, Phoenix is great. Yes, Captain Rex is great with the Phoenix. It's definitely a great team, but they only get you one assault battle, which is used for economy purposes for your account. It gives you finishers, which helps you get your characters up to gear 13, relic levels. And the Phoenix can only do one, while the troopers that we're building will ultimately be able to do two with no relics. And both those assault battles, you'll be able to do challenge tier 2, which is very, very nice for having no relic investment whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and take our Iden team and face this high quality Phoenix team through their stars. You can tell we don't have Dark Trooper on here because we want to be able to go first. Sorry about that. The opponent was engaged with something else, so I had to wait. Let's bring up the turn meter here. You can see that Iden's going to be going first, followed behind by a Chopper. So we'll try to get our stun off first. We don't really want to do much AoE against the Phoenix due to their counter ability. So we'll just do some single target stuff here. Stormtrooper will be your tank. He's been a really, really good tank early on. We'll just focus down Chopper. He's gone. We'll focus down Hera next. Give ourselves some more protection since we don't have bonus protection. Now we're stuck behind this taunt, but that's no problem because we already have our AoE stun back. That's okay. You see she has Retribution, but that's fine. Focus down Ezra. Since Zeb, sorry, is coming up next, we'll try to get a stun on him. That was dodged, that's okay. We'll just take out Ezra. Get ourselves some more protection. And her stun's back up. It's just the fact that it's on a 2-turn cooldown is insane. Like stun, healing immunity, we're automatically going to crit if we can. And that entire team had way more stars than us, so they're way more powerful. They already came in with protection. We came in with no protection whatsoever, and had a relatively easy time against them. Well, that concludes this guide for now. It's just a 1 to 40 to make sure that you guys are setting yourselves up for success. A lot of guides out there kind of just say, hey, just farm these things, and then when you're 85, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take a slightly different approach and kind of walk you through what to do. I'll be doing a weekly update on how my account is progressing, so that way you can kind of see where things are going. I can kind of follow along. Any kind of major milestones that I might be hitting, I'll update you guys as well. And anything that I find is a bit more efficient, or if you guys have any suggestions on something I might be doing a little bit better or worse, I'll take that feedback and tailor the guide as needed. But if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.